Peace and blessings. My name is Carlos Walker, and this is Art and Hustle Black Authors Matter. And today I got Devin with me. How you doing, bruh?
Blessings, King. How you feeling?
Man, perfect. Look, we woke up this morning.
Yeah, that's a blessing always.
I promise you. So, if you will, Devin, share a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm a writer from High Point, North Carolina. I reside in Durham, North Carolina. I write books, and it's just a gift from God to me.
Okay. So, share a little bit. How many books have you wrote?
Five so far. I'm in a mix of doing probably about like 30 like solo projects. Actually writing a movie script. My son wants me to get that done. So for him, I put the effort in. Movies is not something that I really want to do. It's just something that the people feel I should do. So, I'm open minded and willing to, do a movie script if that's what they want.
Hey, I got it. Especially being a writer, I'm pretty sure you can write a movie script with no problem.
It's easy. It's not really. It's like high school stuff, but just I like writing novels. To tell you the truth.
So, what was your first novel and what pushed you to actually create it?
Get It In was my first novel, and I just wanted to write that because I was locked up. Some point in life you got to switch your hustle, and so I just started writing, and I was actually good at. I was just blessed to study and read a lot of books during my incarceration. I was locked up in a federal penitentiary, and being down and out, you just have to find something that's gonna be productive in life.
Okay. So, did you write Get It In prison?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Share a little bit about that experience, your writer's experience while there, because this is a place that there's a lot of stuff that's going on, lockdowns, depending on where you're at. Uh, Quite a few things happen in prison, and you have to stay focused enough to create your body of work. Share a little bit about that.
Well, anybody that knows me, especially in the prison life, they used to just see me writing all the time, and I didn't know why I was writing so much. It was just like a way to escape um, being in prison. You just got to find something to do. It's all kind of bad things to get into in prison. I found my peace in writing. That was something that I grew up doing. I used to take drama classes and theater, and I didn't take it serious. And I remember my high school teacher, Miss Fowler. She was like, "I can't just let you be mediocre. You just." She felt like I was wasting my time, and I was playing around in school, and she took a liking to me, and I was getting good grades and stuff. My mom was like, "Why are you getting A's?" And your punctuation and stuff wasn't straight. So I had to step my game up.
Okay, so sitting in prison, you decided to write to free your mind, but you ended up creating a. How many books did you write while you were there?
Um, Probably over 10.
So you got 10 books that you've written that you actually have not published yet, but that you wrote while you were sitting in prison.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you've published five now.
Yes, sir.
Is those five from that body of work or some new work since you've been home?
Some new work because things are always changing. I write with a feeling of sometimes I can relate to the people and feel like what they want.
Mm, okay. So what did get it in? What
Mm.
is that body of work embody? Share a little bit about the book.
Okay, it was about a guy named Inf. He was selling drugs and he was into the streets, and destroying our community. When we hustling, we don't really look at it until we get incarcerated and we have to pay for our consequences. So Inf goes to prison, and he's kind of bitter in life because he felt like he lost his woman, he felt like he lost his friends, his family, and he felt like they didn't support him like how he would have supported them in that situation. So,
Hmm. Okay. So I'm assuming some of this story, it also reflects something that may be with you or either people that was around you.
yes, it actually was. And a lot of people say that my books reflect me. Like, the women that read my books think that I'm actually the character.
Mm.
Um, it's actually like a thing that God does, man. It's kind of like he gives me a vision. I put the vision out there. The character's not really me, but sometimes they might move like people that I know in life.
Okay. So your next book, or before I say that, what do you think is the most impactful book that you have written and published up to date?
Um, I like all of them. A lot of people like Misery Loves Company. That's a kind of the freaky book, the erotic books. The women like that book. Get It In. The women like that one because they're actually getting in. They getting it in. They getting the money. And I found out that like all age limits, they like a little bit of gangsterism. They like a lot of erotic stuff. And I think that's what captures them. The
Okay.
realness and the authenticity of everything.
So your other two books,
Mhm.
your other three books, other than the two you just named, what are the name of those?
Get On Point, that one was actually about my city. It's a murder mystery. It's like my first book that was it was interesting because it's a string of murders and you wouldn't know who was doing it. Um, the robberies, the murders, it's actually women because we don't expect the women to move like that, but they were actually the ones who was doing most of the crimes, even though people think it's always the males.
Mm, I like the plot twist.
Yeah. So
And then
so
you,
let me ask you a question. Since you given an interview, um, I don't really read a lot of books, but you sent me your book, What If? And it was so on point, man. I was up late night just reading it, and I had to kind of go to sleep on it because I felt myself getting kind of upset because your truth's in the book. It was some things that we don't take time to reflect on. And what made you write that book? Because a lot of people will be scared to write that book, because there's so many truths in it. And it's
so,
to some people it'll be controversial. So what made you write that book?
so kind of like yourself, I did 13 years in prison.
Oh,
And
okay.
while I was there, I prayed, and my parents that came to see me, and I prayed and I asked God to give me something that'll help me make money where I never sell drugs again. I'm an
Oh, okay.
artist, not really. So I'm an artist. Yes, I'm an author, but art is what I actually do. And what ended up happening, um, I was walking on the compound one day and I looked out and I seen a black correction officer with a white guy cutting grass in front of him. And I'd been studying black history for 3.5 years, and I thought to myself, I was like, damn, this look like this could be a black slave master and a white slave. I
Mm,
told my homeboy, he said, I could see that. I forgot the idea. About a month and a half, 2 months later, I'm going through a black history book and I see two white guys chasing a black guy, and the idea pops back in my head.
mm,
So let me back up. So the reason why I said that prayer, My parents had came to see me, and they were sick. They were sick looking. They were elderly.
Mm,
And I went back to the cell, said that prayer, and I said, God, if you do, I tell the world about you.
mm,
Fast forward, I seen that picture, started doing the artwork. It took me 3.5 years to do the artwork, and two correction officers, two women, told me you should write a book to your artwork. I didn't know how to write a book, but I tell everybody I'm a thinker, and
mm.
I thought to every picture and wrote my thoughts down. I got some people that edited for me, and I ended up with a whole book. It was a makeshift book that was about this thick when I left prison. I
Mm.
ended up just putting it up when I came home within my mind. I'm gonna publish this book one day, and a year and a half later, I got a $6,000 commission check, and I
Yeah.
heard God said, "Publish the book." I
Mm.
published that book, and as of right now, I've sold over 13,500 copies of that one book.
Okay, so tell the people where we can find this book at, you know.
You interviewing me? I'm supposed to be interviewing you.
Now,
So
man, because as black men, we don't really support each other, and you have been trying to get me to do an interview. My mind wasn't really right at the time. I was going through a lot of stuff, and plus I'm very busy. But just the fact that you reached out to me, I said, man, if black people don't stick together, I said I'm going to do this interview just for him because he reached out and you don't see that. And I look at your page and it's a lot of positivity. So, I'm all about the positivity, I'm all about change, leveling up. And I want the people around me to level up. And I don't have too many friends who ready to level up. I have friends like I guess our friends in the hood, they give us ideas, they don't give us no money. So it's like the ideas, really you need money for everything. Like you feel like you can't do things. And I tell my son, his name's Natavion, go check his page out. He's a great artist.
okay.
And, I want to be supportive to him. Sometimes as a father, you feel like, you want to give your kids so much. You would basically like do anything for them, but they want to learn it on their own. They want to experience it on their own. So I'm happy that he's strong, but I do want to support him because sometimes, man, all the artists really need is a little bit of money. A lot of times we think that it's all about our skills and our talent. It's not, man. Just save up your money and do whatever you want to do.
Hmm. Also, uh, what I learned on my journey, yes, you need money.
Mhm.
Money will come to you.
Yes, it will.
The ideas, the thoughts that we have, your book, my book,
Mhm.
that's money. When you first start and you write and you get it into publication, once it's printed, you got money if you are actually not scared to put it out there.
Yes. And a gift from God. And I see you doing your thing too, man. It's like I'm impressed about how you rock with the youth. How they can relate to us
Mhm.
artists. Like a lot of the youth, they come around, they like, yo, when you gonna do that movie script? And they are so supportive, and it's like they are always willing to lend a hand because they can see the power in things that we do. It's like if we can sell drugs to our community and influence them to do bad, like what can you do if you was doing good and you bring that same energy,
The same energy. Because
Yes.
we got power. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is your gift will make room for you and put you before great men.
Hmm.
I learned something. The gift, yes, it'll bring as much money as possible if you start using it. Put it out there.
You're
But the
right.
great men and women that we will get to meet, it ain't just the celebrities or the people, but it's everybody,
Yes,
especially
it
the
is.
young kids, because you don't know who these kids are yet. All you see is who they are now, but they
Yeah.
gonna grow up to become great. And if you can drop those seeds that you're talking about now, allowing them to see you do great things, they know that they can become.
Yeah. And I think that if you can influence the youth to do something like positive, we introduce them into hustling. We introduce them to things like we haven't been good role model as a whole. We can give them so much negativity. Like when I look at our community, I'm like, we killing each other, we taking each other out, and then who can we blame? It's like the women on social media. It's like it's not too many powerful women that can be role models to women because they twerking too. So I'm like, you teaching your daughters how to twerk and how to look good. Like one thing about writing is you have to be intelligent to do it. You can't just be I feel like writing, you can be very smart and intelligent and you can express yourself and make people kind of look through it. When you're twerking, you're killing your brothers, that's destruction. It's not really lifting anybody up. So
I don't know if you do workshops,
um
like
no,
writing workshops.
not really. Sometimes it's things that I have to do like writer clubs and things like that. I've just been so busy, man. Like I am kind of like a one-man army and I like it. My mom, she helps me do so much that I probably couldn't achieve by myself. She's always the planning type, the business type, and she really helps me strive. Financially, she's always like what you need. So she was very impactful, as a woman. It's like that's like my hero. So she kind of pushed me to be a better writer. When everybody else saying yes, man, and yo, you the best writer. I don't get that from her. She just always tell me like, yo, keep working, keep on, keep trying to be the best, keep on striving. So I look up to her. She's a solid, I guess, supportive person in my life. You need people that support you and will tell you the truth. So she's like my number one person that helps me, my go-to person for advice, life and everything. So
The reason why I'm sharing this with you because you have a gift in writing,
yes, sir.
and there's other young people who have the same gift. They just need to be able to know that they can make money off of it because you make you. What else do you do outside of writing, work wise?
Actually, man, I'm a valet driver, and I became a valet driver because I get to sit outside every day. I get to hustle, and I don't get locked up for hustling. I like
Mm,
money, so I'm a valet. I like tips, and actually, I'm at work. I sell my books, so that's how I get my money. And I try to make the money that people can't see because in the hood we pull each other down so much. It's like if one man getting farther than the next, we pull them down, and it's like we asking for money, and it's like we don't really help. We don't really invest into the things that's positive. Like I have people still want me to put them on. I'm like, in a book game, it's difficult because that's a gift that God gave me, and that's a hustle that God gave me. Now I can help you, I can teach you, but I'm not gonna do all the work for you.
mm-mm.
So
They're
I
gonna have to,
can't.
they're gonna have to get out there and grind themselves.
They got to
But
start writing, and you got to
yeah,
be good to sell books. So you have to learn some things. You got to learn some tricks.
so what I would empower you to do or encourage you to do is with what you already know,
Mhm.
you can either create workshops for the hood because everybody got a book in them. Whether
Yeah,
they whether they know how to really write and do punctuation or not, get the thought out. Somebody
yeah,
else can look, even if you're not good at writing, get the thought out, let somebody else edit it. But what happens is they will have to, yes, get out there and sell that book. But with what you already know, God has blessed you where you can bless others with that idea to write. so they
Yes, sir.
can actually make money and figure
Mm,
this out. Because hey, if you got a book, you always got a product.
yeah.
It's kind of like when we was out there in the streets. Um,
You gotta have the work
you got to
to
have some work. If you ain't got no work, you can't make no money. But
yeah.
if you got work, you got product to
Mm,
go and make money. That's the reason
yeah.
why I need people to have product.
Yeah.
Because I don't, it can shift people's hustle. And if they know, if they really hustlers, look, no matter if I got a job or not, if I got some books at home, guess what I can always do? I can go somewhere where there's plenty of people share my story and sell a book. I'm
Yeah.
always gonna sell a book.
Man, you know, when I first started writing, the one great gift that I had was hustling because that's how I made all my money.
Hmm.
You know, um, the women, the black women, especially, they were very supportive, and I kept on saying, "Dang, yo, it felt good to sell a book for $20." I'm like, why all the women buying the books? I'm like, I might be talking about something that they can relate to. I don't know if they felt sorry for me or they was just kind of like,
It don't even matter. They bought the
it-
book.
yeah, they wanted the book. They were supportive, and you know, they gave me like a fan base that I didn't understand because they promoted the book. You know, I didn't have to ask anybody to share my stuff. They was just sharing. It was delightful, and it just that's what made me want to write more for them instead of myself. You know, because I'm like, I always got to give the people that something that can stick with them, something that they can talk about, they can read about. You know, it's a blessing, man. Writing, if you want to do it, you just gotta have good characters, and you can have like a recorder and you can sketch out your story. And the hardest part about a book is you got to just make one scene at a time.
Hmm.
You make a bunch of scenes, paste it together, and you have a story, you know? So the best way to finish a book is one scene at a time. So,
So before we go, I do want you to do me two things. Tell them where they can purchase your books because I need people to go and buy your book. This is
well,
the
I'm on.
this is one
Okay.
of the reasons why I do this because I want to support authors not just by hearing your story and why you write, but also to share. Go buy his book. Two, I want you to give me a word of wisdom for anybody who may need to come out of whatever they're coming out of or anything, whether it's prison, whether it's just being out here, and they need a word of wisdom. Give me that.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the words of wisdom first. Well, it's a scripture, Jeremiah 33:3. And it's call unto me and ask me, it's calling to me and say, call unto me, and I will show you great and mighty things which you know not. So this is just a scripture that I prayed for, and it just comes in abundance because a lot of times we don't really know things in life, and it's like he's trying to show you, he's going to guide you, and he's going to give you opportunities and things that you need to know about. And this scripture actually helped me through my prison sentence and everything. It was just so big of a blessing because it shows like the power of God, like how he moved. Like I never would have thought that I could move so far, you know, just even being a local writer. You know, I tell my female friends, I'm not local. You know, if you want to be local, you know, you can stay here. I got places to go, people to see, and things to do, you know. Not saying international, but you never want to put yourself just in the hood. You know, my goal was to get out of the hood. So it's like that's what I want to do. I want to see different things. I want to see life outside of the hood, you know, in the hood. When I go back, everybody's telling me about snitches and things like that. You know, in my book, you know, the snitches is cool. you know, in the rap game, the snitches is cool. The snitches making the most money. To me, you know, when I was in prison, the snitch wasn't cool.
Mm-mm.
You know, it's like in a book, he's the star character. You know, and
Mm.
I wouldn't advise anybody to snitch. I would say do the thing so you won't have to snitch. You know, get the money so you won't have to go to prison. You know, you never, even me, I thought I was a tough guy. You know, I did 11 years. I didn't tell on anybody. And I was the one that was always left feeling frustrated because I said, dang, everybody else got away. You know, everybody, you know, people telling on me. What can I do? So I had to just like forgive and you know, learn that, you know, it was my own fault. It was my fault for being involved with people who could tell on me. You know, if I was doing something positive in the hood, I wouldn't even be in that situation. So I'm telling you, like, my advice to people is to level up, you know, keep going, don't give up. Find your passion, find something that you're good at, invest into yourself, and don't worry about what nobody else say, feel, just get yours. My books are on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Um, that's where you can find me. I'm also on Instagram, Get On Point, social media. Mhm. And what else I was gonna say is I have a lot of respect for what you're doing, man. Keep going. Anything that you need, you know, I'll be supportive to it. You know, if you need me to do anything, I think us, you know, us men, as especially, we need to kind of like help each other. Because
Mhm.
if at first, I ain't gonna front, man. Like, and is sad because I don't really deal with a lot of dudes. You know, my fans, they basically like females, and it's crazy because like sometimes lions can be together, and it's the sight to be seen, man. It's like us men, if we got together and said, yo, we're gonna help each other out, we're gonna do this, we could go so far. You know, like the Jewish people, the white people, every culture, they never leave one person behind. But you know, a lot of us blacks, we leave each other behind, and it's not that we don't want to help. It's just our environment that we in. You know, it's always we made it. Nobody else is gonna make it. So I was, you know, I had to sit back. I said, I'm gonna do this interview with my brother because I see him doing positive things, and I want to be supportive in that sense. You know.
Appreciate you, man. I
No
really
doubt.
do.
Yeah. And go get that book. What if? That book had me so mad. It was so positive. But I'm reading about 12 or 1 o'clock. I said I got to get up for this interview, but I was reading it and I'm going to finish. I got on like page 40, and I said, man, the research that he did, it was amazing. You know, the
Appreciate
research and the truths. And I was looking at it. I was like, you know, the timing of your book, it was well sketched out, man. You know, and
appreciate you.
I'm proud of you, and you keep on striving, man.
And same here, man. Hey, I am proud that you are a writer, that you are the
Mhm.
man of God that you are, because that to me means more than anything that we do. That
Yes,
we, one, are God fearing, two, that we push with our gift to change the community. We have the abilities to do it. And I'm grateful that you're using your gifts to do so.
yes,
So
man.
with that,
Um, God
look,
is amazing. God is amazing. You know, He can get you through anything. You know, as me and you know, saying being incarcerated. You know, God got us through prison, and if He can get you through prison, prison is way harder than the streets. You know, believe it or not. If He can get you through some of those things, man, He just got so much love for you.
come on. So my name is Carlos Walker. This is Forward Prog. Art and Hustle. Black Authors Matter, and this is my man Devin.
Go
Peace and
support
blessing.
lessons.
Blessing.